everyone, and Happy New Year. Yes, it is 2025, and as excited as we are about 2025, we have had a great 2024, and to tell us all about all those good things in 2024, of course, is our favorite director of schools, Corby King. And Corby, when you look back, all right, so we're halfway through the school year. And I have just...
It's hard to think, hard to imagine.
Hard to imagine.
It has absolutely flown by.
Yeah.
The fall semester went so quick.
And I'm just going back through it, and I've already got like 2 pages of just like the biggest positive things that happened in the first 9 weeks.
Well, I love this episode.
Yeah.
There's so many fun things that are happening in the school system. And when you say positive things, when you think back, the student accomplishments, the work that our students are doing, our faculty, our staff, our teachers, coaches, man, it is just it's a fun time in the school system. We've had a great start.
It has been a great start. So I kind of broke it down into some categories here. We've got district milestones, things that happened at schools, student successes, which you love, fun stuff, which is just kind of fun stuff in general, sports, and then the tough stuff, which we'll talk about at the end. But opening up district, we started the school year by opening a brand new school in Parkview, and it almost seems like that was just, so long ago. It's like, oh yeah, we got a new school.
Oh yeah. And and I would say still ironing out the kinks, but I think they did that really quickly. The first few days of school, it seemed like everybody had the traffic patterns ironed out, the classes, the kids are loving the building, the teachers, faculty, staff are loving the building, the parents love it. It's a beautiful building, beautiful school, and looking for great things out there. And I'm sure you've got them as one of the school successes down here too.
Yeah.
The adoption ceremony. Some other things, just great things happening there. But really excited just having that school open and having that opportunity for the community and for those students. And renovating the current, the old Parkview School. We're getting ready to start, ramp that up here in January. Renovate that for a pre-K center, more kind of fun things. So we're not just letting go of that building or moving on. We're going to repurpose that, and it's going to be great too.
So many times you go to other towns and you see these old schools and they're just dilapidated and they're run down, and there's really no reason for them other than they're just taking up space. So what a great opportunity to take that and make something new. Future Ready Middle College.
Man, so what a great partnership. We have some great partnerships. Vol State, Tennessee Tech, TCAT, Livingston, but this one came at us from Vol State. It's a huge opportunity for our students. If they start out and they know this going into that freshman, sophomore year, kind of start planning for when they get to that junior year. We have students taking advantage of dual enrollment classes, AP and IB at Cookeville High School, and some other opportunities. But we started taking a look at this middle college and talking with Vol State a little over a year ago. And they worked really hard to come up with this package, working with Sam Brooks, our Vital team, Future Ready team, and brought this proposal to the school board. Our students in the middle college can graduate with an associate's degree. They're graduating with, I think it's 30 credits, 30 college credits, basically having 2 years completely complete their first 2 years of college while getting their high school credits as well.
Yeah.
So there'll be full high school graduates with all of the honors and things that come from being a high school graduate, also with an associate's degree from Vol State with 30 hours. It's a huge opportunity for students.
Yeah, it was exciting to have the ribbon cutting there at Vol State.
That's right. They carved out, they renovated some classroom space, carved out some classroom spaces just for our students over at Vol State.
Yeah.
So they kind of have their own space, but they're also interacting with the Vol State students while they're there. It takes a very mature, very academically motivated student to be able to do that, but we have those here in Putnam County.
One of the things that happened outside of our district but really saw our district pull together was the big flooding up in East Tennessee, and then to see our district come together and come up with supplies and then even take supplies to East Tennessee. That's where it's one of those things where, you feel for the other school systems and the other schools and you wonder, what can we do? And just like, being a volunteer in the state of Tennessee, we step up and help somebody.
The hard thing is, we live that here. Just not been that long ago, 2020, when we had the tornado and we had such destruction here in our community. We know what they're feeling in East Tennessee. We know how that is. And we had an outpouring of support and love and donations from school systems across the state at that time. Our people remember that, and they wanted to give back, and especially our high schools. And I'm so proud of all of our schools, but at the high schools, loading the box trucks, taking those over, making the deliveries to one of the high schools in East Tennessee, at Cosby High School in particular. Miss Trenholm, the principal at Cookville High School, has ties to Cosby High School, and so making those donations and being over in that area some during Christmas break, there's a lot of destruction still there.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time before they recover from this. So again, proud of our students, faculty, staff members, all those who jumped in, our community who helped support their efforts to jump in and send that over.
Big award handed out this year, the Putnam County School Board, School Board of the Year.
Huge award. So we have, and you know this, we have an outstanding school board.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
The backbone of our school system, it is our school board. They set the policies and things to guide us. They work so well together.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always agree on everything, but they can, if they disagree, they talk through it, they work out. But the fun thing is their focus is always on the students.
Yep.
How is this going to impact the students, not just at one particular school or in my community or the students that I represent,
right,
but all of the students in Putnam County. And it's how can we bring equity and equitable programs for all the students in Putnam County. That's what they put on me. That's what we bring back to the supervisors is we want quality programs, and we want those for everyone in our community, not just for the people that I represent. And that's really fun to work for. You don't get that everywhere. That's why they're School Board of the Year. They work well with our county commissioners, our funding body. They do things, they're active in the community. They have kids and grandkids in the schools, and they want to see us succeed and do well. And I love that. So very deserving award for our board members.
Well, we talk about academics, and since I've been working here, I have seen the push for academic excellence and success here in the Putnam County school system, and everybody comes together as a team. And now it seems like we're really starting to see some of those benefits. The Putnam County school system celebrated academic achievement and growth throughout 24-25. According to the most recent data released by the Tennessee Department of Education, Putnam County schools earned the highest possible growth score of a level 5. Now, that might seem kind of, what does that really mean? For those who aren't, in the know with the data and the numbers and that kind of thing. So it's really good.
It's really good. It is.
It's really good.
It says that our teachers are teaching what they should be teaching,
and
it means that our students are learning what they should be learning. Yeah. And our students are working really hard. Our teachers are working really hard. These are not easy numbers to achieve. The bar in Tennessee is extremely high.
No.
For years in Putnam County, we've always been a good, strong school system, but we kind of have ridden the wave. We'll be a level 5 one year. And the way the department messes with this stuff, it's a comparison type thing. So if we're level 5 this year, we get put with a different group of schools who were level 5, and if you don't keep growth at the same pace as those, then you drop back.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just a matter of hitting these growth marks, it's keeping pace with other high-performing schools.
Wow.
Or school systems. And that's what's happened here over the last couple of years. Our teachers have really dug in and bought into this collaborative process, working together to ensure that they're maintaining the rigor, looking at really what's on the standards that are covered that are going to be on the test, and making sure we're covering those at grade level so that our students have those opportunities to perform when they're given the test. Mm-hmm. It's tough. If you've got a student in school, especially it shows at the elementary school, we're almost pushing 2 grade levels beyond what it would have been when you and I were in school.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The rigor that's there is really tough. But that's what Tennessee expects. That's the standards they've put out there. It is a very difficult mark to achieve. Mm-hmm. But our kids are doing it. Yeah. And our teachers are doing it, and we're right there with some of the top systems in Tennessee. So we're proud of that.
And when you look at our schools individually, the most reward schools we've ever had in Putnam County, 7 reward schools this year, and those were Allgood Middle, Berks, Capshaw, Cookville High, Northeast Parkview, and Prescott South Elementary. and 7 reward schools.
7. And what's fun is it's not all just in growth. A lot of that's in achievement, which is a much tougher mark to hit than the growth measure.
Yeah.
7 schools. We have a competitive group of principals right
Yes. Yeah. I love that. I know you got to love that.
I do.
Yes.
You know my background.
Yeah.
You know, some of the stuff. I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
We have a competitive group of principals. They push on each other. The teachers do, and they're proud of their schools and should be.
Yes, they are.
And the ones who just missed that mark, I
Yeah.
mean, they're just, it's more digging in. Hey, we're right there. We're going to dig in because I'm not going to let that school beat me. It's in good fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a mean thing, but they're very competitive. They all are very proud of their schools. They should be. We're doing good work. And it's, okay, well, you got a reward school and I missed it. What are you doing different than I am? Because I want to get there.
And everybody wants to share in the
That's right.
success, and they want everybody to have the success that they're having.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun, too,
Yeah.
because it's not, well, I've got it and I'm just going to help protect. No.
Right.
I've got this, but I want you to have it, too.
Yes.
So again, very collaborative, buying into that, and the hard work is paying off.
Yeah, and it continued to pay off when the actual letter grades came out right before we got out for Christmas break.
Yeah.
8 Putnam County schools showed growth. 5 A's, 5 schools with a coveted A letter grade.
Yeah. Again, we can argue about the data and the metrics, and I think it's often used to try to, they say it's to highlight the good things that are happening in our public schools, but I don't know that that's always as sincere as it feels.
Yeah.
Because there's so many factors that are beyond our control
Right.
that go into those metrics.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can control, we are, and that's the academic pieces.
Right.
And providing the services that our students need. And then our students are performing very well on those, and it is highlighted. Again, 5 A's, wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Several B's within that.
Yes.
And there's
very
always
close,
places to work. Very close to
very
an A.
close to
yeah,
an A.
Yeah, within a tenth of a point, 2/10 of a point from being an A. Again, those principals, I have no doubt, those schools will hit those marks next year because they've already identified here are the subgroups, the areas where we're struggling. And it may just be, like when we talk about a subgroup, it could be a special education group or an English language learner group, some demographic piece, something that's just a little bit off. Absenteeism is a big piece of this. Chronic absenteeism. That's something that we do still struggle with in the school system. People just realizing the importance of being at school every day. When we talk about chronic absentee numbers, I think parents sometimes don't realize, that's 10% of the school year. So students who are missing 18 and more days, out of a 180-day calendar, if you're missing 18 days, that's a lot of school, and that's a lot of instruction that students are missing. And we have high chronic absentee numbers here.
It's almost 4 weeks of school.
It is. It's almost 4 weeks if you put it that way.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about that, but it is. It's a lot of instruction. And, no, we don't want students who are sick spreading the germs and being there. And I know we're getting ready to enter that flu season, January, February. But at the same time, when students do feel like it and they can go, it's so important that you're there and you're there every day. Because, again, those students struggle academically as well. And those are areas that keep us down. When you look at the letter grades, when you look at the reward school status, chronic absenteeism is a piece, but it doesn't just hit you in that chronic absentee. It also hits you in the academic growth and achievement categories because the students aren't performing as well. So it has a ripple effect. And that's something that we can encourage parents to just make sure that you've got them at school. Prioritize, it's important, be there, take vacations, take breaks during the breaks, and make school a priority when we're in.
Well, one of the things that did affect the district as a whole was we had our first snow day before Christmas break ever came. First snow day.
First snow day. It happens occasionally.
Yeah.
It's been a few years since we've had a snow day during Christmas break. But that does
and
happen.
we went back 5 or 6 years, and it was
same day.
Same day.
Yeah, same day.
Same day.
So something right around that end of November, 1st of December. There's a pattern there, I guess.
Weather pattern.
I can remember. This is my 26th year, and I can remember years we've had 1 or 2 snow days before.
Yeah.
When I was a teacher in the classroom, I loved that. I was so excited. And you see the excitement, and I know the kids, they all love that.
Now you dread
On the other side, it's not that I dread it. I get accused of that at home. My wife is like, you hate snow days. No, I don't. I don't hate snow days. But I do worry about the instruction we miss.
Yeah.
I worry about when we're closed. We know that we have students and families who depend on schools for food, for
Right.
warmth, for safety. And there's some security things that are there. I worry about those things. Now that I'm making the decision, that weighs a lot heavier than it did when I just didn't think about those things as much.
Yeah.
And now those things all weigh into it. Also knowing we've got 13 days, we have that big event. Last year we had the one event, we were out 7 days.
Yeah.
I was really nervous because that was January.
Yeah.
And like February is usually a big deal.
Right.
Luckily, we didn't happen. But, if we use all of our snow days and go over, well, then we've got to go into one of the breaks, spring break or summer or somewhere, because we've got to get those days
Got to
back.
make those up.
So those are all things that weigh in on the back of my mind, too. Let's make sure it's going to have an event.
Right.
Already talking about a winter weather system
Next week.
moving in next week.
Yeah.
Sunday night, and I'm like, this is going to be one of those based on a forecast. I hate those because we all know how nothing against the weathermen out there, weather forecasters, but winter weather is very difficult to predict.
But a weather forecaster can be wrong 90% of the time and still keep his job. I don't
I
understand.
know, we don't get that luxury.
How does that happen?
Coaches don't get that.
Yeah.
School system
No.
administrators, we don't get that. It's a difficult thing to predict,
Yeah.
and so we try to err on the side of safety, and the forecast will change several times between now and Sunday, I know, and we'll cross that bridge Sunday afternoon.
Kind of shifting gears to what was been going on inside the schools. Certainly a lot of things happening with teachers and administrations, but we had some donations and a lot of times, we have you have your school adopters, and we had, some adoption ceremonies, which is always great to see. You love seeing people support the schools,
Right.
and they want to do it. But we had Milwaukee Tools and Cookeville Heating and Cooling made some big donations, and then we had a gentleman up in Monterey who gave some guitars to several Monterey students. Just, it blows me away to see, some of these people and some of these businesses come through.
I tell you, we have such a supportive community.
Yeah.
And that's part of, our schools thriving and doing well. It's the community. It's the
Right.
community support that we have. Milwaukee Tools, the donation they gave, top of the line tools to our CTE programs. They brought them all to Cookeville High School, and we had all of the CT teachers. So Cookeville High School, Monterey, Upperman High School, all the teachers were there.
Right.
And to see them kind of arguing, now which one is you going to take? That was kind
You
of
could
fun.
just see them. I mean, their eyes were huge. I mean, they were seeing all these tools.
Because those are things that we couldn't always, we don't have the funds to purchase the top of the line gear,
Right.
like what Milwaukee supplied.
Yeah.
So our students are getting to use top of the line gear when they go to the workforce. That's sorry to some employer out there, because they're going to expect those Milwaukee tools. This is good stuff.
Yep.
But they're learning and they're training with some of the best.
Yeah.
Cookeville Heating and Cooling. The HVAC lab that they put in at Cookeville High School, training on ductwork. So when they're building the house at Cookeville High School, the students are going to be there. CHC is going to send instructors to work with them. So they're going to get some hands-on training and some HVAC stuff there. Again, huge opportunity for our students. If they're not on a college-bound path and they're kind of wondering what their future might be, and that might be it, because there's a huge job demand out there. And not enough workers to fill those needs. Mm-hmm. So a big opportunity for students who a 4-year college might not be the path they're looking for. Maybe it is. I mean, going in an engineering pathway, manufacturing, but you've got some hands-on experience working with this stuff. It kind of clicks a little more. It just makes more sense when you get into the design phase. So again, a big opportunity. The guitars, at Monterey High School, starting the band chorus program up there, and to see the kids having just another avenue to thrive, to succeed. Not everybody's going to be the best athlete. Not everybody's going to be that academic superstar. But we find that niche in music, and that might be their path to get to college. We've got kids on music scholarships from all of our high schools that get to go to college for 4 years, basically for free off of that music. This might be their path. So having the community support like that is huge.
Let's talk about some individual awards, because it seemed like this year there's been several. It started with Sycamore Elementary School pre-K teacher Jennifer Peak winning the 2024 Tennessee Early Educator Award. And then we got into the Teachers of the Year. You had Prescott South Principal Tara Brooks making it to the Middle Grand Division finalist in the state.
At Middle Grand Teacher of the Principal of the Year. So, she wasn't just a finalist in the Middle Grand. She was the Middle Tennessee Principal of the Year. Which is huge. If you know Jennifer Peak, oh my gosh, those kids, she's amazing. The kids, the parents in her class, they absolutely love her for good reason. She's amazing. Same thing with Tara. Does a great job at Prescott. Prescott's one of those schools that's thriving, doing exceptionally well, and that's her leadership that's there.
She's one of those competitive principals.
She's very competitive. They're one of those schools that missed that reward status or A status by a tenth of a point.
Yeah.
They've already dug in. They've got a plan. They know how they're going to get there. But they do an amazing job over there.
And then we had our district teachers of the year, principal of the year, supervisor of the year, our teachers of the year, Dana Carr, Baxter Primary, Taylor Dyer at Allgood Middle, and Jessica Jackson. And one of the best things that we get to enjoy is the prize patrol, where we go and surprise them and by telling them they're the teacher of the year.
Yeah, that's a fun day for us as supervisors.
Yeah.
You always say, as the teacher, because they're typically up, we talk to the principals ahead of time. They know we're on the way.
Yeah.
But the teachers have no idea that they've won this or received this recognition.
Yeah.
So walk in their classroom, they're usually teaching, so we interrupt their class. Sorry about that. But it's very briefly to make that announcement.
But their students are so excited.
They are. Make that announcement for their students.
Yeah.
And the students get to cheer and for good reason. They're teachers of the year for a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, what an outstanding group that we have every year.
Yeah.
And again, this year we had. I'm glad I'm not on that committee.
Well, I am on that committee, and it was tough. Let me just tell you.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Wow.
I'm glad you guys are.
At the elementary level, at the middle school level, at the high school level, we're just the committee. We're sitting there like, look at all these good teachers.
Yeah. How do you choose?
How do you choose?
So I'm glad you guys have to do that. But man, what an outstanding group!
Yeah.
Principal of the year this coming year is going to be Dr. Melissa Palk, or she is. We've named that. Again, outstanding. And one of the coolest things I saw that we announced that over here. We had a luncheon for our principals, and announced that in front of her colleagues here that she was going to be our principal of the year for next year. And the school, we called back over to the school, let them know that she had gotten this recognition. Well, the students had lined the halls when she came back in, and they made this announcement. That was so much fun.
That is sweet.
Our principal of the year. Again, everybody's we cheer each other on here.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
And then our supervisor of the year, Dr. Diana Wood.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Former principal at Capshaw, and just somebody who everybody loves to work with her.
Sweetest person.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always taking care of everybody, asking about everybody, and truly wants people to succeed.
Yeah.
And our elementary principals, a big part of that vote in choosing Diana as the supervisor of the year, again, made an outstanding choice in choosing her. And we've got so many strong supervisors. Diana's so deserving of this, and to stand out among her peers.
Yeah.
We couldn't have made a better choice.
Absolutely.
I mean, she absolutely does an amazing job, and always so calm.
Yeah.
She doesn't really get shook.
She does not. She is extremely calm and extremely encouraging.
I get a little excited sometimes. Yeah. I'm like, oh wait, calm down just a minute. We'll talk about this. Yes, ma'am.
Still on the first page here. We still.
Wow.
If you love just positive stuff, stay with us. We're continuing this. We're talking about student successes now.
Oh, the fun. This is the fun stuff.
This is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And you think of Monterey High School, you think of agriculture, you think of things like that. And then this year, Monterey FFA earns a 3-star chapter award, which
it's first time for them.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's the success there. I remember, when we built Monterey High School, and it's been longer, I guess probably 10 years now.
Yeah.
And the years kind of run together. But we were very intentional at that time. Let's go say we, but it was the school board and Dr. Earhart at that time. And I guess it's been more than 10 years. It's been gone longer than that. Anyway, about bringing agriculture back to Monterey High School community. So adding some classroom space and things for the agriculture programs. It has grown. We now have 2 teachers who do an outstanding job up there, both with Mr. Vester and Mr. Walls, both. I mean, the kids love them, love being in their classes, the program.
Yeah.
And it shows. The teachers care. They're investing in the kids. And so the kids want to perform for those teachers. They go to the competitions at the state level.
Yeah.
They're winning
They do
awards.
great.
They're being recognized.
The greenhouse that they just
The
opened.
greenhouse was huge. I went and bought some plants up there last spring. We
Sure
opened
did.
the greenhouse. We
Yeah.
bought some plants, brought those back home.
Yeah.
Thrived all summer. We've got that happening at all of our FFA chapters. There's just so many good things happening. But to be a 3-star, again, that's the top award you can receive. And we're doing that out of Monterey High School, which, those students deserve that. They work hard up there, and it's a great thing for the community.
We landed somebody on the Tennessee Board of Education, Bonza Alberson, a student member.
First time we've had that. So a student member on the State Board of Education. State Board of Education sets all of the policies. It's kind of like our school board policy sets for us in Putnam County. The State Board of Education does that for all of Tennessee. So all 147 districts fall under the jurisdiction of the State Board of Education. Teacher licensure, if teachers have to be suspended or anything like that, all of those things go in front of the State Board of Education, along with curriculum decisions and things that whatever laws the General Assembly passes, they have to go through a rulemaking procedure and end up in front of the State Board of Education to set policy. Having a student representative is huge. And Bonza Alberson is a voting member. Just like any member of the state board, she is an actual voting member, being an active part of those decisions. I think it's appointed by the governor. Couldn't have made a better choice. Bonza is such a great student. Her mom's one of our teachers, so she kind of has an idea of what happens in the classroom and how things go. But very in tune to what's happening in the classrooms and with her peers and what she wants to see happening for all of our public schools in Tennessee, and she's doing an amazing job.
Addison Bray named the recipient of the TSBA 2024 Upper Cumberland District Student Recognition Award.
Again, he's out of all of the TSB, out of all of the Upper Cumberland districts, there's 13 or 14 of us. One student gets that recognition, and it was Addison Bray. Another outstanding young lady. Big things on the horizon. I think she signed a scholarship to play lacrosse at Austin Peay. Again, doing an amazing job. She represents Cookeville High School well, her family, and very deserving. I mean, huge accomplishment for her.
We had two Cookeville High seniors, Natalie Beatty and Catherine Smith, qualified as semifinalists in the 2025 National Merit Scholarship Program. I think it's 1.3 million juniors in the country. There are two of them.
Two, yes. Wow, what do you say academically? We've got these students who they have high expectations for themselves. They work hard. So when they apply for these things, it's not just you get it because you're a smart kid. No. You have to do a lot the extra things to get this recognition.
The application is very intense.
Very intense. It's a very difficult process. And to have that type recognition, again, goes to the quality of students that we have in our schools.
And it starts at the middle school level. You got the ATMS Beta Club Quiz Bowl team won the state championship. They won the state competition. The state Quiz Bowl.
The Quiz Bowl, it's like if you ever played, you got the 4 buzzers and you're out there and you Quiz Bowl. Again, the best of the best, the brightest. These are the kids we're going to see on Jeopardy one day, making a lot of money winning Jeopardy. Our students amaze me every day, and I think I don't get surprised much anymore. No, I do sometimes too. Just sit in the classroom and watch them, talk to them, interact with them. Our students are impressive.
Speaking of an impressive student, Landon Ernest selected as the Tennessee State Beta Club president.
Well, what a great kid. I've gotten to know Landon a little bit. He and my daughter are friends. She's there at Upperman and at the Beta Club, so I've gotten to know Landon a little bit from being around him there. What a great kid. And to know him and talk to him, his personality comes out. I'm not surprised at all that he did that. But to become the state Beta president, they had to run a campaign. We were just coming out of the presidential elections when they go to spend a couple of days at Opryland Hotel, the Beta convention. And he's having to make speeches in front of this 3,000, 4,000 student body group.
You can tell it didn't faze him at all.
Not even a little bit.
No.
He
didn't faze him at all.
So many people get nervous speaking in front of their peers. Even as adults, get nervous getting up and speaking in front of people. Not Landon. He was fine.
Just a junior.
He's a junior. He got up, made a great speech. He walked around, shook everybody's hands all week. Had the
true politician.
Campaign. He really was. But man, so exciting for that. And he gets to go on to Orlando now and possibly be the national president for Beta. For awesome. His senior year. So we're cheering Landon on.
And then when it comes to testing, this might be one of the things that really is mind blowing. We had 6 Cookeville High students earned a perfect ACT score. Jonathan Hill, Peter Goodman, Braden Gallagher, Samuel Canfield, Catherine Smith, and Anderson's last name. I got a little typo there. We'll come back. But anyhow, six perfect ACT, a perfect ACT score.
I don't want to talk about I thought when I took the ACT, I thought, I did pretty good.
Oh, no.
This was good. No,
no.
I didn't get out of the 20s. Let's just say that.
This is next level stuff right here.
This is, it really is.
Yeah.
And I can remember years when we would have, one student that would hit a 36, every 3 or 4 years, we would have a student that everybody just knew, that student all the way through. Man, this kid is bright. They've got it. But we've got so many of those students now, and they're working really hard. Again, it goes back to teachers making sure they're covering the materials that's going to be taught or that's going to be on the test. So we're exposing them to the rigor that's necessary.
Right.
These students are going beyond. They're pushing themselves. They have some natural just intellectual ability. They're smart kids.
Oh yeah.
But they're pushing themselves just a little bit harder, as well as going back to what's being covered in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking advantage of the AP or the IB or dual enrollment classes. So again, challenging themselves academically, and it shows. And to have 6 is just unheard of. It's amazing. But they work hard. They take the ACT prep courses, starting in middle school and high school, the things that we offer through Vital. These students take advantage of those programs that we offer. They go to the boot camps. There's an ACT boot camp that Cookeville High School hosts every year that any of our Putnam County students can attend.
Right.
The students take advantage of that boot camp, and it pays off. I mean, you pair their academic ability with the other things they're doing, the little extra things, and then we get a 36. I remember we took it one time, we were done.
That's it. I took my junior year. It's like, I'm
that's
done.
It.
I'm
got what I need. I can get in.
I can get into college.
I'm good. Let's go. This is, and it's huge scholarship money that comes with that.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So when they start breaking, 28, 29, you get a little bit of money. At 30, you get a little more. You hit that 32, 33, 34. But at 36, these kids will likely get a full ride wherever they want to go.
Isn't that something?
I mean, it's amazing.
That is amazing. Throughout the school year, there's all kinds of fun things that students get to do, and sometimes we get to share with them as supervisors. You look at the fun stuff. Special Needs Day at the fair this year.
Oh, my gosh.
One of the funnest days of the year where you see the special needs folks, they get to go, and they just open it just for them.
Oh my gosh, these are the ones that tug on the heartstrings.
Yeah.
It's a great day. I've been able to go over and be a part of that day several times in the past 15, 16 years. And this year it was a little different because fair. We started school the same week the fair was in town.
Right.
Usually there's a week before the fair starts, but this year with where we started, the fair was here already.
I didn't think we were going to get to do it.
We weren't going to get to.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. The kids had only been in class for a day or two with what would normally have been fair day. And the teachers need a little time to get to know them before they take loading these kids on a bus, taking them over there, getting to know a little bit more about them. They need more than a day or two before we take them on a field trip to the fair. So when we talked to James Gang, the people who do the fair, and said, we just can't make it happen. They always do it the day before they open the fair, typically. They came to us and said, no. If you will bring them next Friday, which is the last day of the fair, they're normally off that day before they ramp up that night and close things down. But during the day, they don't open as early. They said, we will open early if you'll bring them. This is our favorite day. And so if you'll bring those kids over here to ride, we will open we will open that day, and our workers want to work.
Yeah.
So thankful that they did that.
Yep.
They made a donation to our special education department that day from the fair, from the James Gang group. Man, to see the smiles and the kids riding the rides and
it's the best.
And the carnival workers,
Yes.
helping get them on and off the rides and riding with them and high-fiving the kids.
Well, and to see
going,
the police and the
all of our, sheriff's department,
yeah.
Cookville Police Department.
To be on those
the
rides
fire
with them.
department. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They come over, they get on the rides, they ride with them. I
Yeah.
mean, you want to ride the pirate ship?
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get on a ride. You'll get on the Gravitron. One of those officers, somebody gets on the ride. THP, man, what a fun day.
It's a great day.
That day, we took all the supervisors
We did.
that day here
It was
from
so
the
much
office,
fun.
and that was fun
Yeah.
too. I think that's something they want to see us do again. We canceled our normal supervisor meeting and said, hey, let's go to the fair. And
Trust me, that was a lot more fun.
it was a lot, it was a lot more fun than sitting in a meeting, but it was a great day, and for the kids and the families, and so thankful for James Gang
Yeah.
for supporting us that way.
Something new, we had all the places you could work, coloring book initiative.
Yeah.
And that was at Northeast where we got to go and read to them and show them these coloring books. That was kind of just an initiative to get them thinking about work and thinking
Yes.
about these things.
So Highlands Economic Partnership that published these coloring books, and it's all the different job pathways, the career pathways, and what do they do. And there's a little excerpt, just a short paragraph or so to read about that, and then the kids can color the page. We went to Northeast on the day they introduced them. That was fun. But all of our, and I can't remember which grade level, but kindergarten, first grade, whatever grade level it was, all of our Putnam County kindergarten, first graders got to receive the coloring books, and they got that. But we got to be over at Northeast on the day. The Highlands Economic Partnership rolled that out and brought those in. Plenty on Spring Bookstore. Again, another huge community sponsor, Lisa and David Ulrich. Man, what great partners in our community. Go support these places, like Plenty on Spring, and we talked about Milwaukee Tools and Stitching. All these are huge supporters, and I try to shop and eat local because they're the people who give back to our schools and back to our community. Great community partners, and they provide a free book for all the kids who received that coloring book. If they completed all of the activities in the coloring book, and they took that page over and showed it to them at Plenty on Spring, they got a free book.
Exactly.
So again, a huge resource for our students and for families, and I love that support.
Speaking of giving away books, at the Cookville Breakfast Rotary giving away dictionaries to all of the, I think, third grade students in the school system, and I was there when they were giving them out, and boy, you'd have thought, I mean, they were treasuring these their actual
really
books.
did.
They put their phones down. They're actually looking at dictionaries.
Well, I'm hoping we wouldn't have too many third graders with phones, but I know I'm being naive again when I say that.
Okay, I meant water bottles. They're putting their water bottles down, not their phones.
But no, as an adult, I can't tell you the last time I picked up a dictionary, an actual book. I use Google all the time. If I want a word, looking for a word, need to spell something, we've got spell check on everything that we have, or I get on my phone or laptop, whatever, and use the dictionary app, frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But have an actual dictionary, I haven't. It's been a while. The Merriam's when we were in college, I guess, that we had to have. But these kids were so excited to receive dictionaries.
Love it.
And then they did, and they're using them. The teachers report back, they're using them.
Yeah.
So you look at some of the academic vocabulary they have to have in third grade now. Those dictionaries come in handy.
And then what a community of arts that we have created with concerts and plays, and then once a year, all the fourth graders get to go to Tennessee Tech, and they get to learn about the Bryan Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
Dan Alcott gets up there, and he does a great job of explaining, the instruments and how they do these things. And it's a great day because they're all bussed in over at Memorial Gym, and they just have a huge time.
All the fourth graders, and it's the concert. Bryan Symphony Orchestra is an amazing group, again, here in our community.
Yeah.
I'll speak again on a personal part about this. My daughter plays violin and has been a part of the Tech Strings program, and has been around that since she was 7 or 8 years old. And the students at Tech do a wonderful job of providing that for us every year. But one of the things that sparked her interest was getting to go to this concert. I mean, she had already kind of been playing a little bit, but it kind of sustained her when she got to go to that concert in fourth grade. I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So huge opportunity. I don't want to start calling out all of the different art programs and,
Right.
and music and band because I will leave somebody out because we have so many wonderful programs.
And wonderful music teachers.
I'm telling you.
Chorus and band
our
teachers.
Middle school and high school, well, it's not saying we'll leave somebody out.
See,
Elementary teachers, you
teachers,
look
yes.
these groups are requested to come perform at community events in
Yeah.
elementary schools,
Yes.
which is huge. They get to middle school and they start taking band and maybe take chorus. We've got some of the middle schools that are starting to do this. I say starting, they've been doing it for several years now, but the middle school plays and things. Then you get to the high school level, and what we have happening right now at Cookeville High School and Upperman is as well. We've got professional level plays.
It's
like
unbelievable.
TPAC level stuff happening in
Yeah.
our high schools.
And even in the middle school now.
It's been, the middle schools are growing, they're stronger. We have Cookeville Children's Theater, which has been big in our community as long as I can remember. But those students, we're providing outlets for them in the schools, and we've got teachers who are supporting and encouraging them. And it's so much fun. Again, you talked about the music programs, the band programs. We have so many kids signing scholarships. People think about the scholarships for athletes and for sports. We have students signing scholarships out of band the same way every year, and that's happening out of both Cookeville and Upperman, and we're hoping to get that started in Monterey, so it'll happen out of Monterey as well. We hired a new band, starting a new band program at Monterey High School, so a new band instructor up there, and actually hired two, one at Berks, and because you got to have a feeder to get to the high school, so one for Berks and one for Monterey High School. And hopefully we're going to see the same type of success there that we're seeing in Cookeville and Baxter, where we have students every year signing scholarships and moving on to college and university paid for out of the band programs. You see their concerts, their holiday concerts, both band and chorus programs. The holiday concerts are
great.
Amazing.
Yes.
Their end of the year concerts just as spectacular.
Went to an elementary concert, and I just couldn't believe the production. It was just,
really,
it blew me away.
They really do. So fun stuff is happening.
And one thing that really tugs at the heartstrings, especially around the holidays, is the Community Heroes for the Holidays shopping effort with Academy and Nissan coming together and providing a shopping opportunity for some students that normally wouldn't get to shop for themselves or for their family.
And again, our first responders that go over and shop with them.
They love it.
They absolutely do. And I think, the police officers, the fire department, firemen, women that are there, they take the kids, they go around. And what they always talk about, too, these are students who normally wouldn't have the ability to go shopping, to buy presents and do things like that. And when they go in and they have, whatever amount of money it is they're going to get to shop that day, they're not going to buy stuff for themselves.
No.
They're going to buy stuff for their brother, their sister, their mom, their dad. And that one really tugs at these big old police officers are big old teddy bears, let me just tell you. And they go around with the kids, and they're out there, and they come out, and they're having to wipe a little bit too sometimes. Because they have had a great day. But just that they're shopping for others, and that giving spirit, and it's huge.
Change of gears to sports. What a great half year it's already been in sports. It starts off.
We're shaping up for a big spring.
We are shaping up for a very big spring. Upperman football won the region again. They were the #1 team in the state for most of the season. And then Cookeville and Monterey football both make it to the playoffs. So all three of our teams very well, winning records, going to the playoffs.
We have outstanding coaches at all three programs, head coaches and assistant coaches, and community support at all three. Huge. Upperman #1 in the state most of the year. The Macon County game was a tough loss. It was their first loss of the season. They'd beaten Macon County earlier in the season, and then Macon County goes on to win the
state championship.
Gold ball. I mean, that was a quality program. That's a tough loss.
That was a tough loss. That's a region rival.
It is. At Cookeville and Monterey, outstanding years. Cookeville in the last couple of years has just really been taking off. They're getting stronger every year. I think we'll see that continue next fall. Coach Hennigan doing a great job. Coach Hughes, to have the small numbers they have in Monterey, year in, year out, a quality program. Winningest coach in Monterey history now. Again, an outstanding job up there.
Cavaliers go 8-2, and they have to go on the road in the playoffs. When have you ever heard an 8-2 team have to go on the road and play a first round playoff game? That's just crazy.
It is, but I don't remember the last time all three of our teams were in the playoffs like that. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks to UC Reporter and those who broadcast, because we couldn't get to all of them.
Yeah,
so
it's always great to be able to watch.
You get back and flip back and forth and watch those, and so you can keep up with our teams.
And what a golf mecca we're becoming here in Putnam County. We had Cookeville boys won the district and the region. Monterey boys won the district and the region, and they both went to the state tournament. And then you had Miley Kate Heron, who qualified from Upperman to go to the state. And then out of all those, Owen Hill, a Cookeville High golfer, wins the boys state championship.
Huge. When was the last time we had? I don't know if we've ever had a boy that has a singular player.
You know, they were talking about maybe back in the late '60s.
When Bobby Nichols.
Maybe back in the day, he played. Sorry. He was for All Good. J.B. Dyer.
Okay, J.B. Rittenberry.
J.B. Dyer. Okay. But they had some guys there that I don't know. You know, if they actually won it, but. I know Owen Hill did.
Owen did.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, it's huge.
That's crazy.
And for men's golf, I mean, you got to shoot low.
Yes.
You got to have a
four under the first day, and I think 3 under the second day.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
You know, I have a hard time doing that if we're scrambling. You know, plus I've got Sam Brooks as a partner. You know.
I tried to shoot my age. I wound up shooting my weight.
Right, I'm no kidding. Yeah, so again, that was amazing for all of our to have 2 teams make it to the state tournament.
Yeah,
huge. Molly Kate going as an individual.
Yes.
You know, huge coming out of Upperman. Good year, good stuff.
And then when you look at on the district level, Cookeville High Lady Cav volleyball team again, district champions, and then bowling, boys and girls Upperman win the district, both district, and they're going to be hosting the regions here in January.
They are. We've got to find a way to get over there and watch that.
Absolutely, that's got to be fun.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
You know, you see they've got the jerseys and all that stuff.
I like the jerseys and the uniforms.
Yeah, we've had some successful bowlers, but as a team, for the whole team to make it and now get to host, that's fun. That may be a field trip we need to take.
I think
that's
so.
Just right down the road.
That's just right down the road. At Bowling World, they're going to be hosting the regions.
That's awesome.
And then for those of you who like to run, our cross-country teams, not me either. Yeah, no surprise.
In basketball, it's changed a little bit in my waistline.
Our cross-country teams, both boys and girls, went to the state championships this year. Yeah,
they did, and the junior high cross country as well.
The junior Cavs.
It starts there. The junior Cavs. So much good things happening, starting with our middle schools, building for that high school, and if we start in the middle schools, it breeds some of the success in high school, and having the right coaches.
Yeah, and
we've got outstanding coaches at Cookeville High School. The kids love to run for them, to get out and do that. They work hard, and again, starting with the middle school and then moving to high school and just having some continuity. And the coaches at all those levels work really well together.
Yeah.
They love on those kids. They work with them. The kids get out there. And the cross-country matches start at like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So they're having to leave home 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to drive,
go run.
You know, 3 or 4 miles. You know, they're back home before most of their peers are out of bed. But some fun stuff.
It's so many good individual signings and awards, and just way too many to talk about sports-wise. But like you said, I'm excited about how the basketball teams in Putnam County are going to do. And then in the spring, you got baseball, soccer, softball. I mean, a lot of track and field.
And I think, again, we've got some, based on previous success, there's some high expectations here. We don't want to put undue pressure on the kids or the coaches coming in. But, we expect to see some more wins and some good things, and we'll support and encourage either way. Upperman girls basketball, Cookeville girls basketball, both right back in the mix this year.
Upperman boys basketball.
Upperman boys basketball this year. Wow. They're playing great right now.
Ty Cobb.
Like we call out the individuals there.
I know, but he's a sophomore. He's already got 1,000 points.
And kid's special.
He is.
I was refereeing still when his mom and dad played.
Yes,
and,
I was covering.
You were covering
their parents. For the Herald Citizen.
His mom and dad could both play too.
Pretty good.
And he got the good genes from both of them athletically there. So Ty's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And a good kid. but the whole team. When you look at what's happening at Upperman boys basketball this year, again, high expectations for them to do well, and I think Cookville and Upperman girls as well. High expectations to have a good, strong run. Cookville boys are doing well. They lost quite a bit.
Matt Hill in his first
Matt's
year.
doing an outstanding job.
Yeah,
the
great
kids
job.
are playing great. We'll see. They hit conference play. It gets a little tougher.
Yeah.
They're in a tough district there, but they lost some big talent. Graduated some big talent at Cookville High School. So, but they're competing. They're doing well.
Yep.
Monterey's hanging in there. They're still not over the hump yet, basketball wise, but they're hanging in there. They're competing, and it's fun. The spring stuff always gets exciting. Baseball around here, at all three schools, and middle schools are pretty competitive.
Very competitive.
It's a fun time.
And you still got middle school basketball.
And they're pretty competitive too.
Yeah, you got Prescott, who's the girls are defending state champions. So we'll see if they can.
And the Avery Trace boys doing amazing right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good basketball to go.
So a lot of positives already happened in the first 9 weeks, but now there's been some tough things that have happened.
Always, sure.
One of the things that I that kind of surprised me is threats against the school.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've had to deal with, and we had to deal with like several in a short amount of time. Yeah. But it wasn't just us; it was school districts all across the country.
That's right.
And it was just I don't know what was going on, but it seemed like every day. People were, there was some kind of a threat or an assumed threat against the school.
It tends to happen that you have the copycat things, especially if for students who are struggling, who are a little troubled, if they think they can get out of school or shut down school, get some attention there. Mm-hmm. The hard thing is, so often the kids are just texting or Snapchatting nonsense.
Right.
They're copying it from somewhere else, and they're sending it. It's not something they made up on their own.
Right.
It's not a threat. They'll put CHS, but it could be some, some other high school.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call a name here, but some other high school with the initial CHS or MHS or whatever it may be. Oftentimes that's what it is, not even from in-state.
Yep.
But we have to investigate. We have to deal with it. Our SROs and principals do an amazing job.
They really do.
They track it down quickly.
Yeah.
That gives me comfort as a parent, but also as an administrator. It gives me comfort knowing that they don't brush this stuff off.
Yeah.
They trace it back to the origins. And when we find that our student did actually send a message or whatever it may be,
or
then we said something they shouldn't have, that we deal with it. There are administrative procedures in place. And what a lot of students don't realize now, they're like, "Oh, I was just joking." You can't joke.
You can't joke about those things.
You can't joke about these things.
Everything you say is taken literally.
And it comes with a 365-day suspension from school.
Yeah.
And now there's a process. If it comes back and they really were, we can get them back in class a little sooner, depending on the situation and the circumstances.
Right.
But sometimes you just, depending on the level, severity, and what actually happened, the kids are out of school.
Yep.
And that's a tough thing. It's something that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
I think it's magnified because of social media, because we highlight that, and we have the school shootings that have hit close to home, like Covenant in Nashville. So we want to make sure that we do our due diligence here, and kids don't just get a pass because they think they're joking.
Right.
There's a lot of steps to go through before it's determined was there anything credible here or not, and tough.
It's something you never want to be a part of or have happen is you lose a student during the school year or lose a student at all. Cameron Kelly, a senior at Upperman High School, was killed in a car wreck, and just a senior who was getting ready to graduate. Very devastating for Upperman High School, for their family, and for that community.
Yeah. Those are things I can remember as a young teacher, the first time those things happen, teacher or student, it always hits close to home.
Yeah.
But with a student, there's such an impact there. It's not uncommon that we lose one or two a year, but, my kids are that age, and I think about that.
Yep.
And my daughter's a senior this year, and you, Cameron, and you've got kids that are not far from that age, and it has a big impact.
It does.
On the student body.
Yep.
It'll have an impact at graduation. It always does. There's that empty chair that shouldn't be empty.
Yep.
And those are things, we have things in place for students when that does happen. We have counselors. We bring counselors from other schools to be there for the student body to help students whatever they may need. Typically, it's time.
Yeah.
Time to process, time to work through it. It's a little bit different for every student. But we've got people who are trained, who are good at what they do to make sure the kids can get through where they are.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school, losing a friend when I was in high school like that. It takes
Same.
time.
Yep.
It's just tough.
Yep.
The kids they typically are resilient and they will work through it, but it takes time. It's like losing a family member or anything else when they lose a friend. So.
Yeah. And then finally, kind of a battle that continues to go on. It seems like it's the governor and the state legislature against public schools with this voucher bill that's not going away. It didn't pass last year, but it seems like they really ramped it up this year. Even some of our local legislators seem to be for it, and it almost feels like you've got this whole entity coming against public schools and trying to call us out. But as you wrote in a op-ed recently, there's so many good things, and you just heard all the good things that's going on in our school system.
There's so many good things, and when you hear from the governor, and I think their intent is probably coming from a good place. I know our local legislators when I talk with them, and they're good people, and they support our public schools. They really do. I struggle with why we're starting another, why we would want to put money into, if we're saying, if the whole thing is, well, the public school doesn't fit, if it's broken, okay, well then help me fix it.
Right.
Now, I don't think it's broke. I mean, look at all the positive things happening here. I don't think it's broke either. Yeah. We've got great things happening, and we support all of our students, everybody who comes in.
Yep.
But they use some of the metrics and data on the testing you've only got X percent that's performing proficient. Well, that's not grade level proficiency. That's a comparison model, and those students are knocking the top out of that. I mean, these students are very impressive that are hitting that proficient and advanced or meets expectations and exceeding expectations marks. Those are very bright students. When you look at that approaching category that they're saying, well, those students aren't proficient, most of those are on grade level. They're right where they need to be. That's a good, solid, average student, a C student that's hitting those marks, which when you look at a bell curve, that's where the majority of the population, that's where we are.
Yeah.
And that's successful, going to be successful members of our community. And they're doing well. They're right where they need to be to move on and be successful. And so it bothers me. I feel like they use those metrics against us sometimes. There are things that private schools can do that we just can't do in the public school.
Right.
And there's some clearly established lines between separation of church and state, regardless of how our personal feelings may be, what we can or can't do.
Sure.
But even the churches in the community don't really get along on a lot of things. So if
we saw that happen.
Cross some of those lines in the classrooms, that's not going to go well either. So we just try to stay, let that stuff be at home.
Yeah.
And then we take all students, and it doesn't matter what their behavior background is, what their disability might be,
what their economic status is.
And the private schools aren't playing by those same rules.
Right.
And they're not going to take the same tests. So I have some real struggles there that they're not going to be held to the same accountability that they're using to say we're broken, but we're not going to hold the others to that same accountability level. And that's what I've expressed to our legislators. If there are specific things that you think are broken in our school system, then tell us what those are.
Let's
help
address
us fix it.
Yeah.
Let's address that.
Right.
Let's put money into those things.
Yeah.
If it's smaller class sizes, which is what a lot of the private schools will
hire
offer,
more teachers,
then we need funding for that.
Yeah.
And they're like, they have invested over $2 billion in the last few years, which is huge because we've put that back into people.
Yeah.
And some of the successes we've seen is because of what money they've put in.
Absolutely.
We've hired additional teachers, assistants, tutors to target learning gaps and to improve those test scores. We're providing opportunities for kids with that.
Yeah.
Could class sizes could they be smaller? Sure, they could.
Sure.
I would love to get lower class ratios, and you talk to our teachers, they would as well in all of our classrooms. But to do that, that's people and that's money.
Yeah.
So rather than if we've got this huge rainy day fund over here or this excess money that's coming into the state, rather than putting that into a private system that can offer those things, let us have that and tell us this is where you want to go, and we can provide all those things.
Yeah.
And we do that for everybody.
Yes.
In the schools, the private schools, when you talk about school choice, it is that. It's school choice. It's not parental choice.
Right.
Because if you've got a kid who's struggling and has some issues or whatever, they don't have to take that. We're going to help you in the public schools.
Yeah.
They might not. And it really does become school choice, not parent choice at that point.
Yeah.
Again, for parents, if private school is the best option, homeschool is the best option, hey, that's fine.
Sure.
But for my public money, my public tax dollars, let's support everybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I tend to fall. So,
well, as we look at 2025, is there anything on the horizon? Is there anything that you're really excited about besides snow days?
Really just see more success.
Yeah.
We always, the spring semester is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've already talked about sports a little bit, but that's a fun time of the year.
Yeah.
But we get into the spring and we start announcing all the academic awards,
Yes.
the academic achievements,
and you start gearing up for
scholarships.
graduation.
And then graduation season's right around the
Yes.
corner, and what a fun time for those kids as they're coming across the stage.
And families.
The families, we get to hit all the graduation ceremonies.
It'll be special for you this year.
It is. My daughter being a senior, her whole thing is like, when I get to give her the diploma.
Yes.
And she said, yeah, you're going to cry. And I'm like, yeah, I probably am. So, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Very, very excited about that and proud of her. And right there with all the other families. And we'll have a celebration at some point over that weekend, I'm sure, with the family. And the spring's just a fun time. It gets busy.
Yeah.
A lot happens. It moves very fast.
And just kind of remind people, graduation is going to be after Memorial Day this year.
No, it's Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it'll be the Saturday.
It is. So.
That's right.
Yeah, when the calendar committee set, again, this is a hard one. It's a good time to talk about this too. We've got to go 180 days. And it doesn't matter when we start, when we end, but we got to do 180 days. Mm-hmm. And the calendar committee, when they look at that, they sent a survey to the families in the community.
Yeah.
And there were several options, but the 9-2 fall 2-week fall break and the 1-week spring break has been very popular with our families.
Yeah.
So to keep a 2-week fall break, and I understand that we've got lots of families who have split homes, so mom gets a week, dad gets a week. I think that's why that's part of it.
Yep.
To keep that, we have to go a little bit longer in the spring.
Yeah.
Or we have to start a little bit earlier in the fall. Well, people didn't like when we started in July. We started July 23rd, 24th, which we've done in years past.
Yes.
And still be out Memorial Day.
Right.
But that wasn't popular.
No.
The survey came back.
Yeah.
August 1, pushed that closer.
Yeah.
So to get to August 1, now we're pushing up to Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
So the way the calendar falls this year, and I think next year as well, graduation is on Memorial Day weekend, and then we come back to school after Memorial Day for 3 days.
Yes, that's what I was referring. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So that Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we'll have the work day.
Yeah.
And then Friday's the actual last day. That 10 o'clock day is the Friday after Memorial Day. So this year we do come back to school after Memorial Day, but graduations are Memorial Day weekend. And the only way to avoid that is either go back and start July 23rd, 24th.
Or take a week out of fall.
Or take a week out of fall break.
Right.
And neither of those were very popular. There's not a good answer here, but it's got to be one or the other because Tennessee law is 180 days.
Yep.
So that's the way the calendar falls this year, and I think it falls that way next year. Then we'll be back to the earlier graduation dates, and it all kind of fits, and it works. So.
Well, and we'll be back here at the end of the school year talking about what a great spring it was and wrapping up the school year. But congratulations on just a great 2 weeks and just all of the things that the school system has already achieved. And you can just tell it is a huge team effort.
Absolutely. That's so thankful for the team we have. All of our supervisors, principals, assistant principals, teachers, the faculty staff at all of our schools. It's just fun. You and I get to go visit all the different schools.
We do.
don't, parents and families often get a snapshot at one school or one or two, maybe if you've got kids at multiple grade levels. We get to go to all of them.
Yeah.
And to see what's happening in all of our schools and to go sit in the classrooms and observe. And
it's exciting.
It really is. And to see the smiles on the kids' faces and you know, I know you're from the parent side, like, oh, they don't want to get up, they don't want to go today, and you hear that. But then you go to school, and they're hanging out with their friends,
Yes.
and they're smiling, and they're laughing, and they're high-fiving in the hallway. You know, they're thriving.
Yes.
Once they get there, they're in that environment, and,
Yeah.
and it's just a fun place to be.
I could tell you, if you're having a rough day, just go spend some time in a school just for a little bit and just watch the students and how loving and caring they are.
They really are.
And it'll brighten your day really quickly.
Yeah, it does.
It's
a fun job.
It is. It's a great job. Well, Corby, thank you so much for joining us. And man, we look forward to 2025.
Thank you. Absolutely.